It's been a really interesting book because I wrote a couple of books for myself. Now these are being done by professionals, a bit better than what I can do. And it's going to be quite a decent book. I got sunk on 2 ships. One day I had 6 days in the water, and another day 3 days in the water, and an interesting period.
We knew the Perth had sunk. We didn't know how many survivors or what had happened to them, but 8 months later they broadcast names over the radio, and a friend of mine heard Arthur's name. And that was the first we knew that he had survived. Arthur and my brother were great mates, and Arthur used to call for him on a Sunday morning to go to football training and then come back and have lunch with us. And then of course eventually he joined up, and then I realised he's not bad. And it sort of started from then, because I asked for a long letter and he wrote it on toilet paper, so it became a long letter. That was his sense of humour.
I lost a lot of mates there. We were going to build a railway line over dead white man's body if necessary. And that's what the Japanese told. And they were right. We lost a lot of men. On Java, before we left, I went out in working parties, and anything that wasn't nailed down was mine. Pens and pencils and anything. And then eventually turned those into diaries, and I got a lot of mental capacity out of it because it gave me something to do. Black Swan was a type of safety net, and I copied that. And this was in a prison camp, one of our first prison camps. We were living in there, and this is where we had a big toilet there. This is the Japs had their machine guns up there to keep us under control. That was our introduction to prison life. In prison camps in Burma, conditions were not nice, and we were fed on a diet with wholly solid rice. Not rice as mother knew it, done as she used to do it. So that's all our story made up of what we feel rice. And these will be in my book. Yeah.
It was a very worrying time, but we always had hope that he would come back. We never ever lost hope. We did feel as a POW maybe he was out of the fighting, out of the war, not realising what horrors he was going to go through as a POW.
One problem I can remember, I had a very bad ulcer on my leg, and the doctor said, "Oh, I can't do much of that. We don't want to cut the leg off." He said, I'll put maggots in it. So he fed maggots into my leg, and that's a funny feeling. And he replaced it every now and again, and they ate the poison out of my leg, and that was good.
The Queen and I bid you a very warm welcome home through all the great trials and sufferings which you have endured while in the hands of the Japanese. And that was 14th of November 1944.
These are medals that we got, and there's another lot that came again later on. They're all different ones. And I wear those on Anzac Day every year. I put one here and one there.
At the end of each chapter, our author John Harmon has put my story. He'd asked me, after he'd interviewed Arthur, he'd asked me what happened back here while he was a POW, because he felt the readers would be interested to know what went, the families back home, how they handled it. So at the end of every chapter, he has got Mirla's story.
It's a heading, Mirla's story. No, you're right.
And I get the last say in the book.
Yeah, I think the book is going to be a good book, going to be a bestseller.